and welcome back to our Scratch programming course. So, in this video, we'll continue and see some blocks in the looks block menu. So, in the previous video, we had saw all the blocks of the motion block and went into the depth of the motion block, and also we finished with the sprite info pane and saw the tools of the sprite info pane. So in this video we will see the blocks of the looks block menu. Now let's start with the first block. So the first block is say hello for 2 seconds. So when I click on this block, can you all see here a pop-up appeared and the sprite was saying hello. So what basically this block does, it instructs the sprite to say the specified text for the specified amount of seconds. So for example, if I change this text, for example I write let's learn Scratch programming, and suppose I specify for 5 seconds. So when I run, can you all see the sprite is paying the specified text for 5 seconds, and if I change it to, suppose I change it to 0.5 seconds. So can you all see it said it and quickly it stopped the script. So basically what this block does, it tells the sprite to say the specified text. Now let's see the second block, say hello. So this block is somewhat similar to this say hello for 2 seconds block, but what is the difference? So if I run this block, so can you all see it said hello for 2 seconds and then it stopped saying that. But what happens in this block, it continuously says. So as you can see that it is continuously saying hello, it is not stopping. But if I want to stop it, then I will stop the whole script. So what happens in this block, say hello for 2 seconds, it says it for the specified amount of time, and in this say hello block it tells the script infinitely. Now let's see the third block. The third block is think for 2 seconds, or we can also change the text. Suppose I change it to think let's go to the park, and suppose I specify the time for 1 second. So when I run this script, can you all see that the sprite is thinking let's go to the park, and it was thinking for 1 second. But what is the difference between the say hello for 2 seconds and this think for 2 seconds block? What is the difference? That in this, when I run this, can you all see a rectangle appeared? Somewhat it was like a shape, and in this, can you all see here bubbles are appearing and it was a rounded rectangle. So that is the difference. The difference is only of the shape. Now let's see the fourth block. The fourth block is think and it is similar to this block because the same thing, it thinks the specified text for infinite time. Suppose I write think I will go to the market tomorrow. So if I run this, can you all see it is infinitely thinking I will go to the market tomorrow, I will go to the market tomorrow, and it is not stopping. But if I want to stop it, I will stop the script by using this red octagon button. Now let's see the next block, show and hide. So what happens that these two blocks are the opposite of each other. So currently, as you all can see that you all can see the sprite on the stage. You all can see. So if I click on this hide block, So can you all see it disappeared? It is currently on the stage, but we cannot see it. It has become invisible. So that is the use of this hide block. And if we want to see the sprite, then we will use this show block. So can you all see, now we can see the sprite. So basically what the show block does, it basically shows the sprite if it is hidden, and this hide block hides the sprite if it is shown on the stage. Now let's see the next block. Switch costume to costume 2. So before telling about this block, I want to take you all to this tab. So currently we are on the scripts tab. I told you that there are 3 tabs: scripts, costumes and sounds. So I will go to the costumes tab. So as you all can see that this window appeared, and as you all can see that currently the sprite is in costume 1. You all can see here, and here also you all can see the sprite is in costume 1. If I change the costume to costume 2, so can you all see the appearance of the sprite changed? So these are the costumes of the sprite. So currently the sprite is in costume 1. So in the scripts tab, if I click this block, switch costume to costume 2, so the sprite has 2 costumes, costume 1 and costume 2. So if I want to switch to the costume 2 costume, then I will click this. Can you all see the sprite's costumes change? So basically costumes are the appearance of the sprite. There are different costumes. So default costumes of this cat sprite are costume 1 and costume 2. So I can also make my own costume. I will show you all how. So suppose I want some different costume. So what I'll do, I'll duplicate this. So this is costume 3. So costume 1, costume 2 and costume 3. Now I will customize this costume 3. So let's add some color to the costume 3. So I will choose this option, color a shape. Then let's choose red color. Okay. And let's color the sprite. Can you all see I can color? Now let's keep the hair red color. So can you all see on the stage the sprite's costume changed to costume 3, and what is different in the costume 3? The sprite's head's color is red. Now let's change its body. So let's change it to green color. It's looking nice. Let's change the color. So can you all see a sprite's appearance change? So like this we can change the appearance or the costumes of the sprite. Now let's make it to costume 1. Now the second block is next costume. Now what is the use of this next costume block? So first, before running this block, I want to show you. So currently the sprite is in costume 1. So what happens when we click this block? The sprite goes to the next costume. So now it is in costume 1, and what is the next costume after costume 1? The next costume is this, costume 2. The next costume after costume 1 is costume 2. So when I click this, it will go to the next costume, and when I again click this block, it will go to this costume, and now it has came to the last costume. But if I again click this block, so what will happen? It will come to its first costume. Now let's see next block, switch backdrop to backdrop 1. So basically, as you all know, that backdrop means the background, that I had already explained to you all in my first video, that what are backdrops. So like this block, this switch costume to costume 1, or we can specify it, this block is used to change the costume of the sprite, and similarly this block is used to change the backdrop. So currently, as you all can see, the background is white and it is not looking nice. So now let's change the backdrop. So first I will go to this option and now backdrops option. Now let's add one new backdrop. So suppose I choose this blue sky one and click OK. So can you all see? Now the backdrop is changed. So now currently I can change it from here. Similarly, like we can change costume, we can change backdrop also. So now let's keep it to backdrop 1, that is this white background. So when I click this block, now it is already in the backdrop 1. But if I change it to switch backdrop to blue sky, so can you all see the backdrop changed? And there are more options here. Next backdrop, like here it was next costume, it is next backdrop. So here if I take all here, so here we are currently on the last backdrop. So the first backdrop is backdrop 1 and the second is blue sky. So if I click this block, switch backdrop to next backdrop, means it will come to the next backdrop, but we don't have any next backdrop because we are on the last backdrop, so it will come to the first backdrop. And similarly previous backdrop, so it will come to the previous, means the blue sky. Now in the next video we will cover the more blocks in the looks block, because we have already covered many blocks of the looks block. So I will meet you all in the next video and we will start with this block and finish the looks block. Thank you.